Going live. It says we're live. We'll see. Where's the thing? There's the thing. Just waiting for it to actually show us live. And I'm curious, is it even showing on the channel?
Probably not.
I have some faith. As if I have faith. Going live. It says we're live. There we go. Mute that. Yeah?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
It looks like it's actually working. All right. I guess let's just get this shindig going, shall we?
So professional.
Very professional. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode 115. Man, this episode should have happened a long time ago.
Yes, it should.
Should have happened in 2019. But hey, we're here, and we actually have the real podcast crew all here for the first time in 4 months. Let's clap our hands.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I am your host
Go
as
us.
always, Nathaniel Rumpelchance, joined to my left and your guys' right by
Eric Moore.
and our other podcast hostess with the mostest from the land of 1,000 lakes. I think, right? Isn't that what they call that place?
Yeah.
We have more
But
lakes than you, though. So
I
don't get
resent
it.
being a hostess.
Yeah, hostess. Yeah. It happens, all right. We got Mr. 5J Gaming over there.
Hey guys,
All right.
my Christmas sweater.
Nice.
We have a lot to go over today. We got about 6-ish topics for you guys, and then for the next hour, we're just gonna be talking about games and all that stuff and all this Nintendo goodness. And then from the last half hour, all you guys that are watching this live will get to ask us questions, and we'll have some discussion based on your questions and kind of go from there. We do have alerts and everything turned on, so if you are watching the audio version of this and you hear like a little ding or this or that, guess what? You got to miss out on the live fun. I'm sorry. But hey, you can catch the audio version on pretty much everything. It's like literally on everything. iTunes, Google Play. I can't think of a website that it's on SoundCloud now too. Like that somehow happened the last 4 months. So
Nice.
I don't know. It's everywhere. So
Sweet.
if you just want to listen to the smooth audio, download later. That's the way to do it. All right. So let's get into our first topic, and this is probably going to be a short one on our end, but maybe not for 5J. We'll see. What have we been playing lately? We like to start every podcast with this just because we are a video game podcast. We probably should play games. I hope we play
Yep.
games. So let's just start with Eric,
Yeah.
just because I already know what his answer is because I have his Switch
Right.
in my possession.
Right. So
But what have you been playing lately? Or what was the last game you played? Let's go with that.
before everything happened, which we can possibly get into that later.
Sure.
I was playing a lot of Luigi's Mansion 3. A lot of fun. I am enjoying the heck out of that game. And now you have my Switch, so
And I still haven't
hijacked
played
my
it,
Switch.
even though it's here in my
Yeah.
possession, and I really want to play it, and I really want to beat. Anyways,
so
I'm trying not to play your Switch and start
Yeah.
up a new profile.
Yeah. So lately, nothing. But before everything and you hijacking my Switch, it was Luigi's Mansion 3.
Good stuff.
Nice. 5J, what have you been playing?
I've been doing a lot of non-Nintendo stuff, so don't know what you want me to talk about that.
Go for it. What have you been playing?
Lots of Xbox right now. Been playing games with friends. Some Destiny 2, which has been much improved since launch. Halo Reach came out on the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, yeah.
So going
Nice.
back to some Reach and some Firefight and that awesome campaign, that's been wonderful. I've been doing some Star Wars Battlefront 2 by my lonesome.
Nice.
Just that game was kind of crappy when it came out, and then they fixed a bunch of stuff, and now it's fun again. So, yeah, thank goodness, fun Star Wars games. Where'd they go? Playing a little bass guitar, non-video games.
Nice.
Learning because I sort of abandoned it as a teenager. You know, everybody got into a guitar at one point, but
Not
trying
me.
to come back to it.
Sad.
Then a little bit of Luigi's Mansion 3, and for the most part, Heavy Burger. And this is a game I think it's way under everyone's
Yeah,
radar.
I never heard of this one.
Interesting.
So this is based on oh crap, what is
Burger
the Burger Time? Yes,
Okay.
but mixed with Heavy Barrel. So it's from that company. What is the company?
That company.
Data East. Data
okay.
East,
Data
who
East.
owns Burger Time.
Nice.
So it's actually like all of Data East games kind of mixed together.
That's
And
awesome.
it's really cool. And it's a competitive multiplayer game, which you can play solo against computer players. And you like take this bucket of money and you try and run it to the other side of the screen. But both sides are equipped with guns, so it's a twin stick shooter. And you're playing inside of a level of one of Data East games.
This
so,
game
like-
sounds amazing.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, there'll just be like pieces of burgers falling, or like in Bad Dude, some muscly guy will try and beat you up or something. It's
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yes.
And if you get to that side, you advance. You literally, the screen changes and it moves over to another arcade unit of a different game. And then you
Nice.
play inside that one and try and get to the other side. And if somebody steals it, then you go back to like the middle screen and you have to fight it out again before you can make progress one way or the other. It's really cool. You should check it out. It's like $7 or
Oh,
something.
nice. Yeah, I might have to do that.
Nice.
Sweet deal.
Nice. Oh man, that's awesome.
Heavy burger.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. I guess that we can get into the next topic. Since we don't have a lot of games on our end to talk about right now. One thing that's kind of happening here in 2020, folks, is there's a lot of new technology coming out. You know, whether you're on the PC side, there's new gen everything coming out on PC. It seems this year, but if you're also on the console side, we obviously know about the Xbox Series X is coming. We know about PlayStation 5. We got a logo. Woo! Thanks for the logo.
Yeah.
Same
Boy,
font.
we
as
didn't
the-
see that one coming.
Same
Right.
font as all the other logos. Woo!
Yay.
And that took the internet by storm. Thanks, Sony. I mean, it
yeah,
worked. They got
yeah.
attention for it.
Yeah.
I don't, not the kind of attention I would want, but that's the attention they got.
You know what they say about no such thing as bad press.
I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is. It worked for them. So they always seem to sell over 100 million every generation. So I guess they know what they're doing.
Yep.
But what about Nintendo? Because last year we got the revised Switch, which gave us better battery life with basically the same form factor. Wherever I set that broken Switch, right here. So same everything, but better battery life basically. For consumer purposes, anyways. There's some changes under the hood that give it the better battery life, but and then we got the Switch Lite, and now people have been wondering what's up with the Switch Pro. Well, a report came out by Digitimes that basically a new model Switch is by the end of the first quarter of this year, so by the end of March, will be going into mass production for a mid-2020 release.
Huh.
And they said it will be made out of, or the body of it will be made out of some magnesium alloy, so ditching the plastic. So I guess it's supposed to make it more sturdy or whatever the justification for that
No
is.
warping.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. Cracked plates.
And that it will have a better CPU, whatever that means. Whether it's
Yeah,
a new
better.
one, whether it's just the same one overclocked, we don't really know. And they didn't go any other details other than that. Now, we've been hearing rumors about better CPU and better performance in Switch Pro for 2.5 years. So it's nothing new other than them saying, hey, look, like, we're hearing from the manufacturing pipeline, it's coming. Like, this isn't like a joke anymore. Like, it's legit. Nintendo's announcing it sometime in the next 6 months, and it's just going to be here. So, for starters, do we even want a Switch Pro? Do we want, like, a more powerful system? And then how more powerful do we really want this thing to be? Because, again, we talked about new technology coming from the other companies that are going to destroy what Switch is today. So what are I guess your guys' expectations, thoughts, opinions? I talk about this stuff every day on this channel, so I'm gonna actually first toss it to Eric
Yeah.
because I haven't heard from you in like 5 months. So what's up?
I don't think we've seen each other in about 5 months.
No, I came to the hospital. Give me
Yeah.
some credit.
No, I know.
Anyways,
Do I want? Of course, I want an upgraded Switch. I mean, how powerful? I mean, I guess as powerful as you can make it without, going backwards in other aspects, like mainly battery life and everything else like that.
Yeah, I'd pay $1,000 for a new Switch if it was just like balls to the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I love tech, so I mean, but the thing is, I'm like a super fan. I don't
Right.
think that's really viable in the market, but I would buy it.
No.
It'd be interesting to see $1,000 price point. Oh, good God.
Oh my,
It's a Neo Geo.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, yep.
But yeah, I think honestly, if as long as they make the necessary fixes, like I mean, with like you said, with the magnesium alloy, I'm guessing it's probably so you don't have the bending of your Switch and stuff like that. If they could find a way to fix the dang Joy-Cons, so
Everyone's been wanting that.
Well, I
forever,
realize that,
and
but
they just
I'm
keep
guessing-
not addressing it.
I'm hoping that with the new one, they'll fix it, so then it gives incentive to buy the new one. I don't know. I mean,
But they sell the Joy-Cons separately, so I mean, you don't really need a new model Switch to fix the Joy-Cons. You could just release better Joy-Cons.
I get that, but Nintendo's very weird like that. So, I mean, honestly,
Well, they'd rather have people just keep buying Joy-Cons. Let's be honest, it might be
there
an
is that too.
on-purpose issue.
There is also that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. That's kind of what I'm, as much as it can be without being, outrageously priced. And
What's your top end price that you pay?
yeah, probably. What the other one came out at
At $299.
$299. Okay,
And
so
it's
probably
still $299 today.
400.
So $399.
Yeah, $399. I mean,
Cool.
maybe 5.
That's what some
Depending.
analysts are kind of projected it to be, is maybe $399.
Maybe 5, depending. I mean, it's got to be better.
Oh, it's got to be.
It's got to be
if
way
it's at
better if it
5,
hits that 5.
If it's at 5, it basically has to be a new generation at that point in terms of the power leap, because that's now you're talking like what Xbox One X launched at, and it better be bringing the goods at that price.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, 5J?
First, I'm not sure I entirely believe all of this.
Sure.
Nintendo has never made a metal handheld.
They've
Like,
also
going
never made a hybrid handheld.
Right, but it's really not that much different than really many of their other handhelds. You chop the controller, the sides off of the Wii U gamepad. It's basically that. It's odd to think that they would do that, because that's got to bring the price up considerably. In addition to things like increased performance, hopefully a better screen. That's another big complaint people have, is the screen.
So they do have a partnership. I think it's with Sharp. It's publicly known they have this partnership, so this isn't even like a rumor.
Is it an unprecedented
They have a partnership that in the contract specifically talks about IGZO displays. Right now, IGZO displays exist in none of Nintendo's products, and they are basically like some of the top end screen technology that you can get in smartphones is basically what they are. And
Sharp provides a lot of screens for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, super power efficient, high frame rate, high resolution possibilities, no bezels, blah 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 blah. So like, it sounds like something that they would use in a future Switch project, but we haven't seen it. People thought maybe it would be in the Lite. It's not in the Lite. It's not in the revised Switch. So that's one of those things that's kind of floating out there as well. Okay, that's an obvious thing. And Wall Street Journal, I believe, said at the beginning of 2019, when they were first talking Switch Pro, they mentioned it would have a new screen.
Yeah, new screen is one thing.
Yeah.
That screen sounds a little too extreme of a jump.
But that's the thing. Like, why does Nintendo have that partnership for IGZO displays if they're never going to use it? It's weird.
I didn't say they would never use it.
Yeah, I know. But it's just weird. Like, I mean, I think it could be for a next-gen system as well or something, too.
Exactly. Nintendo's always working on stuff. And like I said in the last podcast, when we heard all those rumors about HD Wii, guaranteed that was the Wii U, right? It was just so many years after we were hearing the rumors. So, yeah, this could easily be something.
Wii HD should have been a thing. I don't know what Nintendo was doing.
Yeah, it should have been.
Especially with how Wii U went. 2010 HD Wii, perfect timing. Let's go.
Oh, that would have been great.
Let's go back in time.
They didn't do that.
But I think, yeah, if we have a little bit better screen, the one that you're talking about sounds like it's going to be way too much, especially if we have time about the aluminum shell as well. And then people are going to want bigger internal memory. If we're talking about redesigned controllers, I mean, that could be really expensive. And if it's a $500 Switch, it's a totally different market. I mean, it's
totally
really
different.
not
I mean,
for
you're
kids
going
at
for
all
premium.
anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the thing.
Premium market.
I think that the base Switch isn't for kids anyways. That's why they brought the light out. The light's for kids. That's your kid system. $200.
I mean,
It replaced
sorta.
Well, it replaced the 3DS price.
Yeah,
The most popular selling 3DS was the $200 3DS XL.
right.
It replaced that price point. So I think the light is literally designed for kids, although they didn't fix the joysticks. Kids are going to break those like crazy.
I mean, the buttons on the Joy-Cons are still very small, very kid-friendly. Everything is very compact and kid-friendly,
Sure.
although it fits the form factor well. So, I mean, if we're going to get new Joy-Cons, they'd have to be bigger, right, to fit the bigger form factor, or kind of look funny if they had the same
Here's the thing.
squat one.
Here's the thing. Why does it have to be a bigger form factor? Why can't it just be this without the bezels?
Less bezel, right?
They literally have a partnership with a company that gets rid of bezels. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Again, I don't know. It sounds because for
and
one thing,
they
it sounds
could
like it
use
could
a
be
shrunk
fragile
down.
that
They
way.
could use a shrunk down 7-nanometer chip. Blah 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 blah. There's ways like they could decide to get rid of the plastic screen and go with the actual glass screen. And I know it all sounds ka-chink, 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 but here's the thing. I'm trying to be more realistic about what this thing is going to be. Nintendo's done these upgraded systems. This isn't new to them. They've done it consistently, especially with their handhelds, for years. I mean, even dating all the way back to the original Game Boy, updated with the light, updated with the Game Boy Color. This is what they do.
Yep.
But all of the upgrades in terms of the visuals are always very slight. Better,
Yes.
but slight. So my thing is, I don't think it's really going to be that powerful of a system anyways. So if you're going to charge $399, then the justification for the price point isn't just, oh, the CPU runs a little bit faster, oh, everything's overclocked a little faster, maybe there's an extra gig of RAM or something. So everything is just a little bit quicker. Games run a little bit smoother. You don't have to have those moments in Breath of the Wild that drop below 30 FPS. It actually stays at 30 the whole time. So it's a little bit better system, but what you're paying for is you get a premium factor to it. So you get the more durable version in terms of the metal. You get the glass screen with the no bezel, so you get a bigger screen real estate. You get maybe even better battery life because they're using a shrunk down die that allows them to have better power efficiency. Plus, the screen technology that they're partnering with actually has better power efficiency than the screen in here. So you end up with, more battery life without even having to change the battery just by default. I don't think they're going to touch the Joy-Cons. I think they are married to these Joy-Cons to the end of this generation. They've had 3 years to switch out a joystick, which is all they really need to switch out. They haven't done it. They're not going to do it. So
Right.
I honestly think that they're not going to make the changes that people want them to make, and the system isn't going to be what people are hoping it to be. I know there's a lot of hype out there that this thing is going to be this big, ultra powerful thing, and it'll be like the new 3DS. And yes, the new 3DS on paper is decently more powerful than the original 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of leap was much easier to do back then than what people are talking about here with this technology. To get that kind of leap would basically require them to do more than just run the Tegra X1 at stock. That's what I'm basically expecting this to be. A system that actually runs the Tegra X1 at its actual capabilities instead of downclocked. I don't think we're going to get much more than that. I wouldn't be shocked if we even get more RAM and more storage, if I'm being completely honest. I think they might sell it with a micro SD card packed in. That's something they haven't done yet. So they could be like, oh, yeah, well, you do get 128 gigs of storage, but we give you an SD card for that.
Sure.
Because they did that with the 3DS, where you got the 4 gig card with it or whatever it was. That's more along the lines of what I see. I know some people even joke around oh, they'll do all that, but then they won't give you a charger. They won't give you this because everyone always has those things. Nintendo does these weird things. In the past.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna here's a new version that's better in every way, but you can't charge it.
I mean, we already sell chargers.
Buy the charger separate. But you already have one. I'm like, yeah, with the system I'm trading in to buy this one, that requires me to trade in the charger with it to get this. Thanks.
Don't worry, we sell them separately.
Oh, so.
It still sounds like these, rumored upgrades physically, they still sound like too big of a leap. You're talking about the power upgrades being modest through the years. The physical upgrades are modest through the years. GDASP, they're like, hey, revised version, better screen. And it was better, but it wasn't like the universe had changed and the entire SP was redone. Now it's got a metal
one thing to keep in mind, where did I put that dang thing? Okay, so I'm gonna go grab something quick.
Jeez. What?
This
The podcast
metal plate right here
It's now on pause.
that is inside your Switch. It's inside every Switch. It is the back plate. If you ever take the back off your Switch, you don't see this. You see that.
Right.
Okay? This metal plate is magnesium alloy. This is
Mm-hmm.
the material they're talking about being the body of the Switch instead of the plastic. Magnesium alloy, while it is more expensive than the plastic, we're talking a difference. I looked up the pricing at the time of the video I made the other day. We're talking about a $3 increase in cost of materials. Now, that's a lot to a company that's trying to pinch pennies. But if you're going to charge a $100 premium, $3 extra, not really that big a deal when you're making 90 whatever dollars in extra profit on top. So I don't think the metal thing is even that big of a deal. I think the upgraded screen.
Yeah, the
That,
screen specifically sounds
but
like a stretch.
But it's weird because the screen is the only thing we have concrete information of. They have a contract. We know this. That's not a rumor. They are going to use it at some point.
Right.
So and it's like, oh, are they going to wait for the next gen Switch? We don't even know that Nintendo's going to do a next gen Switch because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You never really know what they're gonna do. Maybe they will put out $1,000 system aimed at premium
Oh my!
level.
No, I'm pretty sure
Who
they won't do
knows?
that.
They probably won't.
I think
But just saying,
Nintendo
if they
is-
decided
yeah.
they were that crazy,
I think Nintendo's realized their sweet spot for systems are anywhere from $199 to $350. Don't like going really higher than that.
yeah, 350 also seems like tends to not do as well. For them.
Yeah. Well, through $299 has always been like their best top end point, and I've wondered like if a Switch Pro comes out, would it be $299 and they just drop the price of everything else? Because they kind
Nintendo
of did
drop
that with the new
prices on them?
3DS, where it came out a little bit more expensive, and then like within 6 months, it just dropped to the price of the old 3DS, and then everything dropped.
Right.
But I don't really know. Like, I'm of a mind that obviously I don't know if a Switch Pro is even coming this year. Nobody really does. I know a lot of people are just clinging to Digitimes and saying it's happening, and it's not just them. There's Wall Street Journal and other places have been reporting on it for a while.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
But I kind of look at it as this situation that I'm just not really sure what's going to happen at all, because Nintendo's competing in its own market, in my opinion. They don't really need to worry about anybody else, to be honest. There's like zero true competition. There's the GDP Win 2 out there somewhere, but that's not even something that gamers really consider buying. It's a super niche market for that. And the Switch versions of like Mortal Kombat 11 run better on Switch than they do on the GDP Win 2, even though it's better specs, because that's just the way it works. It's
optimized.
not it's optimized specifically for that hardware, because you're just running your Steam library. So you end up in this situation where I don't know that Nintendo has to worry about PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox as much as they might have had to in the past, because neither one of those systems replaces what Switch does. Now, obviously there's concern about third parties and continuing to get AAA support, which seems to have been getting better and improving. We get Doom Eternal coming later this year. Probably the next NBA 2K is coming again, because it's come every year so far. Yeah. We know the Outer Worlds is coming as well.
Yes.
And there's others. There's a few others as well that are announced that I can't remember. And heck, we've even had like little whimperings of things like Red Dead Redemption 2 potentially coming over. We've had as a late port, which is just insane. But then, hey, The Witcher 3 happened, so is it really that insane anymore? Even like CD Projekt Red, they wouldn't even shut down the idea of Cyberpunk coming to Switch. They're like, hey, we ain't doing it now, but never say never. It's like, what? Okay.
What world are we living
so
in?
we're going to get Cyberpunk now at some point? Like, not this year probably, but next year? Like, what? So Switch is seemingly gaining steam and getting all the support, and I think people are just worried, well, when people stop making base PlayStation 4 and base Xbox One versions of games, why would they bring it to Switch? And I think it's a fair question, because at some point, they're not going to want to downport to such a old 2015 tech mobile thing. And I think that's where people got all these hopes up for the Switch Pro to kind of bridge that gap in the same way the Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro did. And I don't know, Nintendo's never shown a willingness to kind of do something like that.
I don't think it'll bridge a gap that much, but I think it might follow a similar philosophy in that if it is more powerful and is capable of more, then it won't have exclusive games, but it will allow games to now have a special enhanced mode.
Sure. And I think more games need like a performance mode and a like a you want it to look pretty
graphics versus
I always think it's interesting that we don't get more how to put it. We don't get more I guess more consistency out of Nintendo when it comes to this kind of stuff, because like the bottom line is this, like the Switch was being made under Satoru Iwata. We have no idea what Furukawa, who's now the second leader of Nintendo since Iwata sadly passed away, we have no idea what his vision is for the future of the company either, because he's got like zero history in actual video games. He's straight up a business guy, and like, is he going to look at the market from a more broader spectrum and be like, hey, look, we need to compete a little bit better. Like, we don't need to, we're not going to have 12 teraflops packed in the next Switch or whatever, or in the Switch Pro, but, can we get to 1.5? Can we get to 2? Can we get within shouting distance of, say, the low-end next-gen Xbox? That might be that's rumored to be like 4 teraflops or something. Because if it's within shouting distance, that's what Switch is now. And that keeps the third-party parts coming. And it's like, well, to do that would require almost either a next-gen Switch, or you have to hope that NVIDIA and Nintendo are making a new chip behind the scenes that we don't know about, because it's supposedly a 10-year contract, but, now, and there's now, now you have to wonder if Nintendo regrets the 10-year contract, because as soon as they took that chip as, was the best mobile chip on the market at the time for gaming, now AMD's just killing it, and their technology is so far ahead of what NVIDIA is doing on the mobile space that it's like, oh, did we go wrong here? Well, you have a 10-year partnership, so figure it out. Now, Nintendo could just pull what they did back in the day. We had a partnership with Sony as well to make the PlayStation Nintendo. We said, screw you. Went with Philips, and then, I mean, there was a whole mess of stuff back then with that.
But, I mean, how many unprecedented partnere's have they had?
Just one. Just the EA.
Oh, all right,
just the one unprecedented partnership.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Just the one. Just the one. Hey, that's the last time we got a semi-decent version of Madden on a Nintendo system. Unfortunately, it was like the version right before the physics engine, so it wasn't even the current version. But at least it tried to be a simulation Madden game, and it wasn't like the Wii, let's arcade it style. Like, let's make NFL goods, but not as good style.
That was, I mean,
that wasn't good.
Yeah,
that was not good at all. So I don't know that we're getting a Switch Pro. We're kind of in uncharted territory right now, where I guess the safe bet is to say if we are going to get one, which Nintendo has a history of releasing upgraded handheld platforms, even sometimes upgraded consoles, although sometimes it's downgraded, like the Wii Mini was a downgrade. That
happened a few times. Lesser outputs from newer models of GameCubes and stuff.
Yeah, history tells you to expect very little. Expect it to be better. Expect it to be nice. Expect it to be the best version. If you want the best of the best, you get it. But don't expect it to be like mind blowing. And I think a lot of people are hoping it is, because Nintendo hasn't been. Let's just be honest. Nintendo hasn't been relevant in the traditional home console space since the GameCube. That's the last time they really put forth an effort. And while Switch is not a traditional home console, which is why they're not really directly competing, they kind of are, because the people buying it are the people that play those traditional home console games. A huge audience. Like, it's something like 60% of Switch owners own a PlayStation 4. Like, it's a massive crossover audience where, like, you actually are kind of getting the audience that wants to play traditional. And you can't just lose that, because you can quickly lose that audience if you don't get the games. You know? So I don't know. Nintendo's kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place, but they've moved like 50 million Switches at this point. I think they'd rather be in this situation than where they were last time with Wii U.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, they're in a position of strength. It's just, what are they going to do from it now?
Right.
to not get buried. You know, I think a new Switch might come this year just to keep the name Switch out there, because everyone this summer is going to be talking about E3, the next Xbox, PlayStation 5. It's going to have all of the hardware discussions. Nintendo's going to want to be like, oh hey, by the way, don't forget about us. We got something new coming too.
Yeah.
And that's fine for marketing purposes, but what's it actually going to be capable of beyond this? Because I'm not worried about third-party support this year. It's going to be based on what the Switch already is, but we'll see. I have no idea what Nintendo's going to do. I don't know. I know they're not going balls to the wall. We're not getting 4K. People could stop dreaming of 4K.
For real, though.
Let's just be honest. It's not happening. Yes, there are significantly powerful mobile chips that could potentially do some 4K indie games. All of them are in $1,000 plus devices. We're not getting that Switch. I'm sorry to those that are hoping and dreaming. Maybe next gen Switch, when that technology is now 5 years old and actually affordable, and by then that tech's gonna be so far behind whatever the next gen systems are that Nintendo's in a losing battle in terms of keeping up with tech, specifically because they are mobile and because they don't do annual releases like phones do. They're never going to be able to keep up.
And now consoles appear to be going headlong into we're basically a PC realm. The Series X is just a PC tower. It looks massive and
it doesn't bother me. I love PC towers, but
it looks fine. But it's they're not hiding it anymore. We're PCs that just do games.
Oh yeah! Shout out Torn and Prince. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Nintendo Prime Podcast, baby.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Thanks
for breaking the seal.
Yeah.
Let's see if anything else happens. So I guess this kind of goes into the next topic, because we don't know if this thing's ever going to come out, but there's potentially some quote unquote competition for Switch coming around the corner, and not from the Sonys and the Microsofts of the world. We're talking from Dell. They brought a prototype, a working prototype, a bunch of them, to CES 2020, and there they had this thing called the Alienware UFO. Now, Alienware is their gaming division. Ever hear of Alienware Computers? Dell owns them. So Alienware UFO, and
name,
it is basically a Windows 10 tablet with controllers that attach to the side. We don't have specs. We don't know how powerful it is. The games that it was running were all looked really impressive. We saw it running Mortal Kombat 11 and F1, the 2019 version, and some other games that Switch just doesn't run as well. It's 1080p screen. The thing looks massive.
It does look huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks comfortable in the hands in terms of everything I've heard. Anyways, it's very ergonomic. How the controllers are built. You could tell they're not built to be like Switch and do a billion things. These controllers are meant to be used either on the side or in the controller hub, and that is it. They're not meant to do everything Switch does. We're going to own being a traditional controller, and we're going to do it right. It even has a D-pad, which might make some Switch people be like, why doesn't Nintendo give us a D-pad?
Right.
But it looks neat. It's got very sharp, very distinct angles, because that's what Alienware stuff is. It's supposed to look alien.
Yeah.
A lot of people had a lot of positive things to say when they went hands-on with it. Has its own game launcher menu, but it does run full Windows 10, so you can hook it up to a monitor or whatever and use it as a PC if you want for word processing or whatever. I guess someone brought up a use case in a video where it might be kind of neat for a student who doesn't really need a computer to do anything specific but write and do word processing.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'll buy a video game machine and do my word processing on that. I don't know. I mean, we live in a world where kids are just having tablets and they do it all on tablets. So,
Right.
I guess it's not really that far-fetched. It's just, I wouldn't be good luck arguing with your parents that you should get an Alienware UFO for school. I don't know about that. But hey, you guys get that grad money, and if you want to spend $1,000 or whatever this thing's gonna cost, go for it.
If it has a keyboard attachment, you take the controllers off the sides, attach it to the keyboard. Hey, it looks like a little laptop.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just kind of what it is and what people are saying about it. What are your guys' thoughts on this thing? I mean, heck, it even has a kickstand.
Personally,
Yeah,
I thought it was
It's
a better
It's a better
kickstand.
kickstand.
A way better
it's
kickstand.
huge and kind of ridiculous,
But
but it's way better and it's sturdy as hell.
works.
Right.
It's sturdy as hell. So it's like,
that thing is not going anywhere.
no, you are not knocking that thing over unless you want to knock
mean-
it over. Yeah,
It's going to go forward before it goes anywhere else.
maybe. Yeah, it's a very sturdy kickstand because, like, basically the entire backplate comes down like this,
Which is
and then it's just like any angle you want, and it looks
That's cool.
stupid,
Yeah.
but it works, and it's very sturdy. So like, I gotta give them
Useful.
credit. It's way better than the Switch's kickstand, no matter how you
yeah.
slice it.
Oh yeah.
It has RGB on the thumbsticks. I guess that's a thing. Because it's a PC, there has to be RGB.
Yeah, of course.
There's light up little circles
Oh,
around the
nice.
stuff. Yeah, so there
Nice.
is RGB. I don't know what the purpose is other than it's RGB. And if you know anything about PCs, of course there's RGB. It's not a PC thing. if
RGB
there's no
backlights
RGB.
on the
You're
buttons
not a real
too.
gamer. It improves your gaming performance.
RGB backlights on the
Like, you
buttons
guys
too.
own PlayStation 4. That
That'd be
light
interesting.
bar on your it totally makes you a better gamer.
Oh yeah.
Without
yeah.
the light, you can't perform.
Yeah. I mean,
that back shine off the TV, especially if you're wearing glasses. Oh,
I
better
don't know.
gamer.
Your RGB RAM in your PC makes you way better PC. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I got RGB RAM, man. Totally makes my computer run
Oh, yeah.
faster. I can't even see it. It's facing the wrong direction. So it's not even for aesthetics. It's for performance.
yeah.
Totally.
So what are your guys' thoughts on the Alienware UFO? Do you think it's even going to come out as a product? It looks like a pretty finished product. It's a working prototype, and they had dozens of them.
Yeah, and then to have the press take a look at them, it sounds
Yeah.
like they're pretty confident.
Yeah. Now I don't like. Okay, so I guess let's just say it's going to come out. Do we think this is going to do anything? Because like it's a blatant Switch ripoff. Like
Oh, God, yeah.
blatantly, they looked at Switch. It's funny. They're like, oh, how can we make the mobile PC gaming experience better? Make it a handheld. Oh, this handheld's conveniently exactly like a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't really get much more blatant than what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, even to take the controllers off, it's a button you push in the back and slide off. And I'm like, I mean, you're even taking the placement of how to remove the controllers. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I get that Nintendo owns patents on some things, but they probably got around all the patents. This is too big of a company to get away with not
Yeah.
getting around the patents. And it's not like Nintendo owns the idea of attaching controllers to the side of a tablet.
Right.
That's been around before Nintendo.
Right. And even then, though, I mean, how much is it really going to cost them to?
Well, I think price point is going to be a bit like
No.
if this thing is
I
like
meant
a Windows
if
Surface.
even if they didn't get around the patent, how much is it really? I mean, Dell's a massive company. Do they really care all that much?
I'm sure they care about being sued publicly by one of the biggest video game companies in the world. Yes.
Eh.
You gotta remember, multi-billion company versus multi-billion-dollar company. They don't want to go to court for that stuff.
Right. Yeah, Nintendo's not the biggest video game company, but they are one of the richest.
Yeah.
No, they have bankroll for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got like $9 billion just sitting in the bank, you
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
screw around with against that company. Just because like Google can like wipe their butt with that money and throw it
Well,
away and
but
buy
yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah.
This isn't Google. It's
Yeah,
Dell.
right. Yeah,
Right.
that's true. That's true. I'll give you that one.
So, thoughts. Let's just get. What's your guys' opinions on the actual system? Like,
I don't know. It looked pretty cool.
it has
It
a
was-
weird like trapezoid thing with the screen.
Yeah.
Where like it's totally an Alienware thing. It looks
yeah.
really weird. Like
Yeah.
where the bezel kind of like gets bigger as it goes. If they would just take that bezel and make it white like the controllers, I think it would look fine then, because it would all blend in together and it would just look like a general. Oh, this is just the aesthetic, but it's like, but that's an empty bezel area.
Yeah.
Right.
Eh.
I want to know more about the performance, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very curious about how it works with Windows 10 versus does it have like a more streamlined operating system, or when you turn it on, is it just a computer? And you boot up Steam and you boot.
No,
you know what I mean? Because that would
when you boot it up, it boots up with their inbuilt game launcher. Is apparently how it works. And their game launcher looks fine. It looks like every other game launcher. It's
Looks like
a
Switch.
a list of your games, just like a
But
Switch,
it's
just like a
games
PlayStation.
from Steam.
I'm not exactly
or-
sure. I'm assuming. I don't know how well built it is out yet because you,
if they,
you
like,
can
make
run
their
Steam
own
on it.
store-
You can run Origin. You can run the Epic Game Store. So I'm wondering if it's more like a launcher that incorporates all your game library into it. And
Sure, like anything that's in your
it's like an
installed
extra layer,
location.
but it's a layer that makes it more convenient for the phone
Good.
connector.
Yeah, because it definitely needs that.
That's what it looks like, and then you can exit out of that and go to the desktop, and it's a traditional Windows desktop.
right. You like launch an app and it quits its little OS and goes into full Windows mode. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
guys,
that much is
imagine
good.
you can now blue screen to death on the go. Oh, PC problems. I'm not even. I love PC gaming, so like, it's just gonna happen. So if this thing's a real product, someone's gonna be on an airplane and get a blue screen to death and be like, "Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right."
Well, hey, Switch games have crashed on me, but not the whole OS.
Yeah, not the whole OS.
That's a line. That's a line. I think that this. I think for it to be successful, the price is going to be a big point. Again, if it's going to be really expensive, it's not going to sell well.
Sure.
And then I'm not sure exactly what the audience is. I think part of it is that people who have PCs might still get a Switch because they might want to play their indie games on the go.
Yeah.
I don't think that they so much care for The Witcher 3 on the go because they're PC folks and they're like, well, but it doesn't look nearly as good. So they're probably more interested in the lesser titles, taking that with them.
Potentially. The funny thing is, though, a majority of the PC gaming audience doesn't actually have that powerful of a PC.
Right, right.
So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah,
like, we have
PC
this
Master
Race. Yeah, we have
versus
this opinion.
PC,
We have this opinion of what PC gaming is, but like a majority of PC gamers aren't that.
Right. Well, I guess then that goes into my next point of the PC Master Race crowd, the hardest of hardcore PC guys.
Well, they
are
might
kind of
snatch it up.
against Alienware, right?
Well, as a concept,
They don't
yeah.
really like Alienware since it was acquired by Dell, right? They used to be a different company, right?
Thanks, Corey Bo. Yeah, they actually were a different company. Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of since then, it's kind of been like, Alienware sucks, it's just a Dell. So, I mean, that's going to hurt the PC crowd that it's not coming from another company like Microsoft themselves or something.
Yeah.
But it could do well if the price is right.
I mean, it's
But I don't think
competing
it'll
directly
compete
with the
with
with the GDP Win 2. I mean, if it comes out, I think it's going to destroy the crowd that's bought GDP Win 2. It just looks better, looks easier to use. It's everything the Switch is, but for PC people. And that's nice. But
it's not going to compete with Switch.
I can't. I mean, you can't compete with Nintendo's library in terms of exclusives. But I mean, I don't know. If you like, my thing is like, if you have a library of hundreds of games on your computer, and the idea with cross saves, which is enabled already with most PC games, that you could just literally take that with you anywhere you go, play the same game, and play it decently well at 1080p. I mean, that I could see the appeal of that because then it's like a united system to play.
Yeah.
You only have to buy it once, and you can play it at home on your computer or take it. Like I could see it being a nice companion for a PC.
But
gamer.
yeah, that's
But
good at like
price-
$400. But if it's like $500-600,
$1,000 that it probably will be.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
Alienware
hard pill to
tax.
I was going to
swallow.
say.
Gotta have the Alienware
Yep.
tax.
right? Yeah,
So-
exactly. Part of that reputation we were talking about.
Yes, Alienware is owned by Dell. What do you think, Eric?
God, I don't know. It's too early to tell. I don't know if it's going to come out. My guess is probably early
I hope it's at E3.
2021.
I want to touch it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I want to touch it just
But-
so I can be like more
Super
informed.
chat from Corey, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we give him a shout out. Yeah.
Thanks, Corey.
I think if it does come out, it's probably going to be early 2021, maybe holiday.
Okay.
But it'd be nice to, like you guys said already. I mean, you guys covered most of it. It'd be nice to kind of just see the specs, see how everything works. With actually running games. How do you install the game on it? Because you're gonna run out of space real quick if you have to. If you have to put them on there.
Yes.
So it's kind of that's gonna be the biggest thing, and then price point,
Sure.
obviously.
Sure.
So
Yeah, that's true. Nintendo is so great at optimizing at least their games that all their games are tiny, even though they look really good. But that's not the case on the PC.
No.
It's uncompressed everything.
Well, right. I mean, today's day and age is as long as it works, it does. The hardware carries for most part. To me, it seems like hardware carries the software nowadays.
Right.
Where it used to be, software was meant to fit the hardware and run as fast as possible because the hardware couldn't.
That's why you get Apple.
Yeah, they're
They're the one company still doing it, holding back the specs and overcharging you because their software is so well tailored.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Let's get back into some more Nintendo goodness here. We got Wii U rumors out there. Wii U. Of course, when we're talking about Wii U, we're talking about the games on Wii U coming to Switch. Emily Rogers put out there that basically some point this year there's supposed to be 2 more Wii U games being ported to Nintendo Switch. We already have Tokyo Mirage Sessions coming for sure. That comes out in like a week or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta get that pre-order in.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We already know about that one. She said, well, she kind of hinted that it's easy to guess what they are because there's not a lot of games left to come from Wii U, which isn't actually true. There's like 11 plus exclusives that have not been ported yet, but it's also about there's that many exclusives, but how many do you realistically think are going to come
And
over?
11 isn't a lot to guess versus like 100.
Yeah,
Well, there only is like 25 total exclusives on Switch. So.
Right, exactly.
So, what do we think the games are going to be?
Devil's Third. Just kidding.
Oh my god, Eric, I'm gonna throw it to you.
Mother
first.
3.
Oh.
The one with no Wii U experience.
Yeah.
What exclusives do you think are
I
coming
don't
over? I'll give you a hint at one.
I mean,
if you can't think of it.
Well, Pikmin 3.
Okay.
I did see. I saw your lists
Oh, you did. Okay.
partially. I don't remember them, but I
So
saw
you're
them.
stealing answers, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. I
Okay.
am not gonna lie on that one.
Pikmin 3. Yeah. I think a lot of people want to see Pikmin 3.
Just pick. I would say, why don't we pick 2? What are the 2 games
Yeah.
that each of us want to see?
Sure.
Oh gosh, and the other one I can't remember which Zelda game there was on your list. I think there was a couple of them, wasn't there?
HD remasters.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Okay. Huh. I know Wind Waker would be kind of cool. I know you were playing. We used to play that quite a bit.
I love Wind Waker. I love them both
Back in
to
the
be
day.
honest, so. I think Wind Waker is the better remake. But it was also done by the Zelda team. It's not
Yeah,
fair.
there's that.
It's not fair to the other companies. Like the Zelda team did better with Zelda than. Of course.
I
they
mean,
did.
honestly
didn't
though.
Tantalus almost go under in that process?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was hard on them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, what better way to bring Pikmin 4 than to bring Pikmin 3 over?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Okay, so one of the Zelda games and then Pikmin. That's
yeah,
your
I
choices?
think that's probably what's coming over.
All right, 5J, what do you
Great
got?
choices. I'm gonna pick some options that are maybe a little less likely, maybe a little, but would be awesome. Xenoblade Chronicles X would be amazing. Maybe that one is slightly more likely in that we are already getting the first one
Yeah, we're
remade
getting the
and the
first one
second one is
remade.
on
It's
the
like-
console.
Yeah,
So having all 3 on one console would be amazing.
Nice. Would be sick.
That game was so much fun exploring the world.
It's so different from the other Xenoblade games.
Oh, and the Skells, giant
Yes.
robots, somehow it fits so perfectly in that game. And then some of the music was really awesome too. Some of it was meh, but some of it was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be one of my picks. And then I want to go with Star Fox Zero.
Ooh.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Star
So
Fox Zero.
personally, I thought that game was awesome. I didn't even really have much of a problem with the controls, but a lot of people did.
Yep.
And since it's now a totally different setup, it's not a 2-screen experience anymore, they'd have to rework it anyway. So while they're reworking it, they could kind of work on some of the stuff that people had problems with, kind of polish it up a little bit, give you a little bit of a enhanced experience of it. And then people might see that, okay, this game really wasn't the piece of crap that everyone said it was. It's actually a pretty cool game that really fits with the spirit of what Star Fox is quite well.
And they get rid of the motion controls.
Well, they could maybe instead of getting rid of them,
make 'em
say, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
turn them off and use traditional controls if you want to.
No, they're going to enhance them and force you to use it.
Well,
the game was forced to use it because Miyamoto was forced to prove his own concept with Wii U.
Right. It should have been a launch game in that sense, but yeah.
Anyways,
no. And it could come with Star Fox Guard,
of course
which was
could,
a great
Star Fox Guard was great.
Little,
that was great.
So much fun.
Good choices. Man, well, I mean, there's the one obvious one out there that is more than likely one of the two, and that's Mario 3D World. I mean, it was popular on the Wii U, so of course it'll probably do better than New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe did, to be honest.
Yeah, so, and they gotta have a Mario game every year. So,
I mean, it's almost a gimme at this point. That has to be one of the two. You guys named probably one of the ones you guys named, or probably one of the other ones, whether it's Xenoblade or Pikmin or whatever. But I'm gonna throw this out there just because this has actually been publicly talked about several times, and they just are waiting for Nintendo to tell them it's okay. The Wonderful 101. Literally, Platinum has publicly stated if Nintendo will just give us the green light, we'll bring it over.
Oh, jeez.
And I know they're working on Bayonetta 3, and that's great. And other games for other companies, that's great. I think Tencent just gave them a contract to self-publish something. I don't know what's going on there. But what I do know is The Wonderful 101 needs to be played by more people. I mean, if you're going to bring over Tokyo Mirage Sessions, why can't we have this game? It is a good game. This isn't Devil's Third where it's legitimately a bad game. The Wonderful 101 is legitimately a good game that nobody played. It is like the Beautiful Joe of today.
Oh, yeah. Great game, too.
And that game wasn't played enough either back in the day. So it needs more attention. It needs to be brought over. It is an excellent Platinum game. And to be fair, there's other games that could come over. I mean, someone in the chat mentioned like Nintendo Land. Like there's a ton of exclusives still there. There's like a treasure trove of gold mine of games that could come over. I don't know whether they ever will, but all the popular ones have to. And I just named an unpopular one, so I know the chance of that coming over slim to none, other than the fact that Platinum keeps saying they want to bring it over. But Nintendo owns the right, so Nintendo has to say it's okay.
Come on, Nintendo.
I mean, come on. Free pack-in with Bayonetta 3. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Give me some hope here. All right. We got about 7 minutes or so here left on the regular edition of the podcast here. So let's get into the Pokemon Direct coming tomorrow. For you audio version people, it will have already been here, so I'm sorry. But if you caught this thing live, we are talking about it the night before it happened. What are our expectations for that Pokemon Direct? Because it's one of the weird things that happen that we're kicking off a year with Pokemon after we just got Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird that we're not like Pokemon Sword and Shield came out 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And the first big thing we're getting from Nintendo is a Pokemon Direct instead of a standard Direct. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to get a standard Direct this month. We could, and they could just be getting the Pokemon stuff out of the way.
Right.
But what do we expect? Because it's 20 minutes long. They got to have something pretty decent to show here. What are we looking for?
Right.
I mean, they have all the hype coming off of last year. They got to have something they think is going to be decent anyways, even if it ends up being garbage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I just hope it's not like Pokken Tournament 2 and that's what they think the big deal is. That'd be
Pokken
nice.
Tournament was a lot of fun, though.
That'd be nice, but
underrated. It's one of those Wii U titles that should have come over.
But it's okay, is it basically just, it did come over.
It
did.
did.
So, okay, so my problem with the Pokken Tournament 2 and why I don't know that it's that exciting to me is just that it's just going to feel like it should just be DLC for the first game.
Yeah, well, that's kind of fighting game issues.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's just me. I'm not in the fighting game, so I guess it wouldn't be that big a deal to me. Yeah. But
right,
there's only really one announcement they could do that's going to make my jaw drop, and that's if they announce Pokemon Snap 2. They do that.
Snap 2.
Okay. It was worth
it.
Even if it
Switch
sucks.
or mobile devices.
Shut up. It has to be on Switch. Shut up.
Yeah, right.
And they'll probably put it on my phone.
There's a camera on your phone already.
And I will play the hell out of it, I'm sure. If it's on my phone. But
if it's on your phone, Microtransactions.
Either that or they're gonna somehow.
Yeah,
somehow.
every time you take a picture, oh, that was a 5-star rated picture.
Yeah.
Do you want to pay the 50 cents to keep it?
Yeah, right.
Right.
They're gonna somehow work it into Pokemon Go.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So, you guys have any expectations or hopes for this thing? I think a lot of people are upset with Pokemon right now. So
I can guarantee you they're gonna talk about Pokemon.
they're gonna what?
They're gonna talk about Pokemon. Yeah.
That's a given.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would put some sort of stadium aspect into something,
Or just a new
or bring
Pokemon
a
stadium?
Pokemon Stadium? I mean, that would
No.
Oh, when's the last stadium we had?
Coliseum on
GameCube?
GameCube. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
could be
seems
another
like
one.
that's a dead format.
be which
That
is
was their
sad.
closest thing to making a console of Pokemon until now.
Right, but part of the gimmick was being able to connect your games into the console
Yeah,
version.
Yeah, I know. Ugh, don't remind me
So,
about the good old days.
Oh, I'm sure
Just
they'll
like I
find
did
a
with
way to-
Snap. Like, I'm sorry, reminding people of when we had good Pokemon spin.
Yeah, right.
So
Well,
I don't want to throw shade. There's actually
Yeah.
just have to Pikachu, Mystery Dungeon. There's some good spin-offs out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm thinking a spin-off title makes a lot of sense here. I don't know if they're gonna announce the next big fall title since they just came off their big fall title.
It'd be interesting if like Detective Pikachu 2 is one of them, like a game. They
Oh,
talk,
that'd be a fun one.
because there is a second movie supposedly in the works.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
it would
yeah,
make
yeah.
sense for there to be another game, and we don't have a Detective Pikachu game at all on Switch.
Right? Yeah,
Um,
even a port would be great.
So like that's possible. Like I just feel like it has to be something. There has to be something significant for it to be the first big news of the year. But like,
Updates
what?
to Sword and Shield, you know,
Yeah,
Well,
well,
new
there has
mode
to
or
be
something.
updates.
Yeah.
Like there's already that
The
tweet
picture
that they
of
deleted
the
that showed off like a different color version of one of the Pokemon. Like okay, so there's gonna be some
New raids and
there's gonna
stuff.
be some
Yeah,
new stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know that that's really that exciting. That's expected.
it'd be one aspect, not the 20 minutes worth.
I mean, I know some people are really hoping they announce like a Sinnoh remake or something,
a third shiny type.
and it's like, okay, like here's the thing: we're getting a Pokemon game this year because it's an annualized franchise at this point.
Mhm.
So, if you look at the history of what they're doing, it's going to be a remake of some kind.
Let's go gold and silver.
I'd be ready for that.
I mean, I know they said like Let's Go was going to be a one-time deal, but what if they decide to we're going to Let's Go Gen 2 now, or that would upset people because we want remakes of the games we never got remakes of, and you're just going back, and it's like they care about money, they don't care about you.
Right. As we see.
Everyone complained about Sword and Shield, but everyone bought it. So they're just gonna keep going, and like people don't like talking about this topic. I made a video on it. But, like people are upset and they want to talk about it because they don't trust the Pokemon Company. They don't this. The Pokemon Company is doing what they've always done. This isn't any different. You guys just took forever to notice.
Yes.
They just finally
Absolutely.
pushed it too far that people are noticing. It's like, but they've always been this way. That's why I stopped playing Pokemon so long ago. Like this is what they do.
Yeah.
They copy paste assets. They reuse a lot of things. They regurgitate things every single year. It gets old. Pokemon isn't as special as it once was when we only got a new generation once every 4 years or so. Like,
And to be fair, I don't think we're the target audience, and I don't think we have been since we were,
No.
pre-teening.
right.
all they really, I think that the target audience is primarily anyone under the age of 18, and under the age of 18 does not have the same expectations.
Well, under the age of 15, I'm thinking.
Like, yeah, even then, yeah. Like, it's just, I realize there's a huge chunk of Pokemon players that are older, but I don't think that's who they've ever targeted. To be honest,
Right, exactly.
We're kind of the afterthought audience. Oh, we know you exist. We're not going to ignore you.
We'll
Well,
throw
we're not
some
gonna
Gen
listen.
1 Pokemon in there
Yeah,
for you.
right. Like, that's why
exactly.
we did the Gen 1 remakes. 'Cause we're not ignoring you.
Yeah.
Well, we'll remake Gen 1 a billion times because we're not ignoring you. But it's
Right.
like, yeah, but now you're milking us and then ignoring everything we want in the new games because that's just, we don't care about you.
But we're
Whereas, like, it's
still
weird
gonna
because,
buy
like,
it.
Zelda went the opposite direction with Breath of the Wild. They're like, yeah, we're going to go just all in with this open world thing. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to mess around. We're going to do it right. And
Right.
yeah, it might upset some longtime Zelda fans, but it's going to bring in a whole bunch of new ones, and the older fans are going to love it, and everyone's just going to love it, and it's going to be the best game we've ever made. And it's like, Pokemon's like, we're just gonna like kind of give you an open world, but it's not really open. Just so you know, we're just gonna give you a taste.
We're gonna take part of Breath
Because
of the
it's
Wild
easy.
and then slide it over here again, copying pasting aspect.
You're gonna think
Like
it's open,
one
but it's still
island.
totally linear and like. There's nothing like. Here's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with Pokemon Sword and Shield as games, other than they just didn't do enough, I guess, for the first console game. Because like it's really Nintendo's fault, because every game they had make the leap to home console in the past was a gigantic leap. It wasn't like this little tiny, it's just a portable game, but now on a home console. It's no.
They reworked
It's
the
like a
whole system.
generational like flipping of everything. We're taking sprites and bringing it into a 3D world. That's not what they did here. It feels very much like it's just another 3DS game, but bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that just upset people. Plus, obviously, we know about the Dex controversy and all that. And now I think people are kind of burned. And I think that's what's happening with the Pokemon Direct. Is people are just kind of, they're done. They're done. They just don't want to hear about Pokemon right now. They want a whole bunch of other stuff so they can forget about Pokemon and then come back to it later. Because we know we're getting a game later this year. Let's talk about that later. Let's hear Animal Crossing.
Right.
Let's hear. Heck, Tournament Raw Sessions comes like in a week. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about anything but Pokemon.
Eventually, Breath of the Wild too.
But we're getting Pokemon, so we'll see what happens. All right, I think that's actually going to do it for the main portion of the Nintendo Prime podcast. So we're going to do some sign-outs here. If you're here watching live, the podcast is not over. We got about an extra half hour here of a Q&A session with you guys. Ask your questions in the chat. You can actually ask them right now. Just tag, at 5J, I think is your name. Is your username? What's your username on there? I don't even remember.
It's a good question. It's been a while since I
It's been a
logged in.
while. It's been a while. Yeah, well, just tag at Nate Jantz.
I think it's 5J Gaming.
Yeah, if you tag at Nate Jantz in the chat, that will tag me and highlight your comment for the questions. You can obviously super chat or whatever and get your question bumped to the top as well. But I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to the 115th episode of the Nintendo Prime Podcast. I am Nathaniel Roble Jantz. This is
Eric Moore.
And the guy across from me over then on the other side is
5J.
All right. You can find all of our links to social media profiles and other things, YouTube channels, and all that down in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode. All right. Now, for everyone else here live. I know it's a weird cutoff, but that's the way it's going to be every week, guys. That's my audio cutoff, because the audio version doesn't have the Q&A. Guys, get your questions in the chat. We didn't really get to our last topic. I guess we could talk about that. briefly.
That was a whole lot of...
Did you have anything you wanted to bring to the table, 5J?
I just saw a question from John early
Did
that
you?
I
Okay.
do want to discuss.
All right, what do we got?
Pokemon or Digimon?
Ooh.
Are you guys
Digimon,
involved in
digital
that whole
monsters?
business?
Oh, I was.
The
I was
champions?
a
Here's the
Pokemon
thing.
all the way, but
Yeah, I was
mean,
Pokemon all the way when I was a kid.
Yeah.
As I'm older, Digimon's better.
Okay, and then it's kind of two different things, because we're talking about the show, which one is better, and the games, which one is better. I think those are totally two different discussions. So show-wise, which do you guys prefer?
Digimon's better right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's been a long time since I've seen either one of them.
Oh.
So
I
You guys
I have
know that they're
kids.
still making Digimon movies
Yeah.
for us
Yes.
because it's the characters aging through time.
Yes.
oh, nice.
Yes.
That's kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
How rare is
why
that in anime?
That's why I like it.
Yes. I just saw a preview for the new one coming out, and I wasn't ready for the little teaser trailer. I was like in tears already. They are saying goodbye to Tai, the character Tai.
Oh boy.
And it's all talking about them, hey, when you grow up, our Digimon have to leave us. And it's like, wait, what? And at this point, they're all turning like 18, 20 years old or something like that. So they're all having to
That's
say goodbye
crazy.
to Digimon. And it's like, wait, no, you can't do that to me.
Yeah,
You know, like
don't
that
do
episode
that
of
to
when
me.
Pikachu left Ash, or when Ash left Pikachu behind. I mean, that was the heartbreaker, right? They're doing that in Digimon now.
Spoilers. No, I'm just kidding.
20-year-old spoiler. From like a mid-season episode.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we all seem to like Digimon as a show better, but what about the games? which is kind of a messy
God.
topic.
Yeah,
because
so it's a messy
very-
topic for me because I don't have a lot of experience with the Digimon games.
Yeah, neither do I.
So it's hard for me to fairly talk about the games in comparison to Pokemon. So I by default it's Pokemon, but I haven't played a Digimon game
Right.
20 years. I've just played Let's Go.
I don't know if I
recently, so.
actually have played a Digimon game, to be completely
A
honest.
long time ago
Oh.
I have.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think I have, so, huh.
So I can't really give an opinion on that.
Yeah, I can't either.
unfortunately.
How about for you, 5J?
I haven't spent the time with the newest ones that I want to, but I have them on Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. So those are two cool big RPGs. I played a bunch of the one on DS and the old Digimon World games on like PlayStation 1. And I had a good time. They clearly were not up to the same snuff as Pokemon in those days.
Oh yeah.
The DS ones were much better.
Mhm.
I don't think I'd say they were better than Pokemon, but they were still really good games. So I do really want to play Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory to see have they come up and surpassed Pokemon, which has been stagnant all this time at a very good quality level, but still stagnant. Have they been able to surpass it or not?
Sure.
So unsure, but hopeful that Digimon can win in both categories.
All right. Let's see. Next question we have from Tornin Prince. He says, "Do you think the Windows 10 handheld can run Game Pass?" I mean, it some of the games, obviously. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
anything
just
that's
like anything
compatible.
else on PC. Whatever the specs say it can run, it can run.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not every gaming PC can run every game, so it's a gaming PC, so it's going to be dependent on the game. It's not
Right,
really
it's
going to be
for Windows
dependent on
10.
yeah, it's not going to be
Yeah.
dependent on the service. The service will be available, just like Steam will be available. But it's about what can the tablet actually run. It'll be a game by game basis, and we don't know the specs of the tablet. So,
Right.
John really says, "I knew the Pokemon Sword and Shield wasn't going to be anything special because they showed it off with the Switch Lite, and they want to emphasize the handheld aspect of it." Okay. Birdman, what's the max specs of the Tegra X1 on the flagship? Well, let me look up now there's the overclock specs, but that's overclocking is very dependent on cooling. So you can overclock things past what it says the overclock is. So it's hard to really talk about that, but we can at least go with what the base specs was supposed to be. So let me look at the Tegra X1 base that I think is more realistic to get to, because there's already Tegra X1 devices doing base clock easily from NVIDIA already. Let me see. Tegra X1.
Yeah, you look that up.
specs.
There's a question in here from Isaiah. What do you guys want in the 10.0 update for the Switch? I'm assuming here. I want folders. I have so many games. I want to put them. I want to organize them.
Organizational, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea. I mean,
Yeah.
All right, so I have the specs here. So there's the 4 ACE57 cores, which is the main processing units. They have a theoretical max of 2 gigahertz. Practical max is more like 1.5. Base is around 1.2 gigahertz. The GPU has a theoretical max of 1 gigahertz with 256 CUDA cores. The typical that it's running at is about 950 megahertz, so pretty close to that 1 gig. That's not what the Switch is running at, but that's what you can think of if you're looking at base specs. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much what Switch is already doing. Switch is already using the 25.6 gigabyte per second bandwidth. It can technically the X1 can output at 4K, but just for
Yeah,
video
right.
output. But it's not going to do that. So.
No.
Right.
I mean, the theory on that was like 4K Netflix, but we don't have Netflix, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, right.
4K Hulu.
Let's see here.
What do you
Isaiah,
want, the 10 point up?
Yeah, the
Update,
10.0 update. That was what 5J was talking about.
Yep.
I
He
mean,
said
folders
folders.
is huge.
Yeah.
Obviously. I want to see the eShop updated.
Yeah.
Oh.
If there's anything I want them to do that has anything to do with Netflix, I want them to take the Netflix homepage, make that the eShop, but with games, suggested games, different categories,
Yep,
all of it
yep.
based on the games you actually have in your library and have actually played. They have all of your play data. They have all of your library readily available to them at all times.
Yeah.
Why can't they just use that to make a massive
Curate.
suggestion system that could you'll have your new release list and then a massive suggestion system moving on down by category, by whatever that Netflix does to introduce you to games that get buried after the first week.
And I want a more basic feature. I want a shopping cart, so I don't have to
Oh.
pay for 5 individual indie
Yes.
games.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
just pay them for them once.
Yes. Why
Yeah.
there's no shopping cart?
Yeah, that's
I know other people want themes and stuff. They've done that in the past.
That would be fun.
I
There were some
personally
cool
don't
3DS
care about
themes.
that,
yeah.
but it's like it's a nice to have. I just don't care.
Different sword orders.
Like my whole thing is, I feel like I spent a lot more time in the 3DS looking at the menu of the 3DS than I did on Switch. I don't know if it's just because the menu was small, so I had to squint sometimes to read things, and it was low resolution, so I don't know.
And you are blind as a bat.
Not anymore. I have contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But
Again, I haven't seen you in how
Switch,
long.
literally on Switch, I turn it on, I go to what I want to play, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't really spend much time staring at the home screen. So,
Right.
I guess I don't care as much about themes, but I know why people care, and it's a way for Nintendo to make money. So
I know, like,
that's really I
is
don't
there
really.
ordering for the homepage instead of?
There is.
Is there?
They
No?
added
It's
an
been a while
ordering
since I've,
scheme.
like,
Isn't there by recent played or by alphabetical order or something?
no.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
and by time played
And
as
by
well.
time
So like,
played.
you know,
Okay.
and there's also I think by publisher.
Oh, is there? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wish I could just do like. I want to put this one here.
Yeah, no,
always.
you can't custom put them anywhere. No, it's not a phone. Sorry. It'd be nice to.
Eh.
You could on 3DS,
Yeah. Right.
but you can't on Switch. I don't get it.
Yeah.
but it's literally a tablet minus the tablet functionalities of every tablet in the world. It's just the way it is.
I think though that's the strength of a video game console to begin with because they're all computers.
Yeah.
But a normal computer, time to open it up and get to your game is so much more than turning on a video game console and
Oh, yeah.
starting a game. You know, the ease of use is really the only reason the video game console still exists.
Okay, so John really brings up. Do you know that the Switch is supposed to be region free?
Mhm.
It is. It actually is region free.
Yeah, it is.
I have no idea if they
Yeah.
kept it region free with the Switch Lite and the normal Switch revision. Yes, they did.
Yep.
There is an
Yeah,
issue.
feel free to import from Japan.
There is an issue with games from China right now. Do not import games from China. There is some sort of region issue, but that has to do with their government. So it's not really Nintendo's fault. But minus China, it's region free. So
Does this have to do with like
and
anti-copyright?
if you're in China, you can import
It's-
games to China if you can get them past customs.
Yeah.
Sure.
But importing games that are released in China to here is an issue right now. So just don't even. Mess
Are there
with it.
Chinese exclusives?
And I don't think so yet, but Tencent's a big part of the deal there, so you never know.
Okay,
There could be
so
something.
someday, but not yet.
Chubbs Various brings up that I just want an eShop update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see here. What about native voice chat? How about before we
would
talk about native
love
voice
it.
chat, could we just get Bluetooth headphone support?
Yeah, but
The
I mean,
chi-
is
the
that
chips-
a technology thing?
The chip's already in there.
No, right, for the Joy-Cons, right?
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
enabling it to be used with things more than Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And I get maybe they're
Yeah,
worried
because you
about
can pair 8 Joy-Cons, right? Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, and that's you could pair so many different Joy-Cons. It shouldn't be a signal degradation thing. But even if they're like, oh well, because of that, okay, fine. Then if I'm using a wired controller, could I then use wireless headphones? So I don't have to run 2 wires
Yeah.
to my Switch. Like,
Right. Or one Pro controller.
I
and
mean,
one
then
wireless
then
headset.
then native voice chat would be nice. Using the app I think is dumb. I know it works well and it sounds nice, that the quality's nice, but of course it is because the quality is what your phone can do.
But have they enhanced the app at all
Not
since
really.
launch? Like they were like, oh, we're gonna add new apps within the app.
No. They've
Did they ever
they've
add
clearly
another
like
one?
abandoned the entire idea.
That's me, Tomo.
There's no lobbies. They said there's gonna be lobbies at one point. There's no lobbies. There's no. There's no ability to message people on the play. Like, why can't I message Eric? Hey,
Yeah.
I see you're online
let's
playing.
play.
You
Yeah.
want to play some Luigi's Mansion 3 tonight?
Well, you're already on your
Granted,
phone.
I
You're
can
already on
text
your phone. You
You're
just
already on your
shoot me a
phone.
text.
But I'm on my
But-
Switch. I'm not on my phone.
Yeah, right.
Let me just message him
Yeah.
in this. Like,
Yeah.
he's playing the game. I'm clearly going to get his attention now.
Yeah.
I messaged him here. He's playing the game. He might
Yeah,
not
right,
check his
exactly.
phone. Like,
Yeah.
It's dumb. And that's not counting the fact that people make internet friends that don't have each other's phone numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not just going to give out your phone number to the whole
No, I mean, we have a Discord server, but still, no. The reason the Switch is the way it is because they don't want to know the 3DS situation. What's the 3DS situation?
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about there. Please elaborate. Maybe I do know.
Which
and I can't
which
think of it.
situation?
Yeah, I know. Like,
It had a poor launch, and then people abandoned the 3D gimmick, so they abandoned the 3D gimmick. What other situation would we be talking about?
so you know what's funny, Corey? I was reading up on Corey.
Yeah.
He was talking
Yeah.
because Corey Bum's all excited that Eric's here,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You need to burn that shirt," but conveniently ignores that Eric is also
Actually, if you go back and watch the podcast,
yeah.
I read that comment, and you watch me. I just go,
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do because like, we're both wearing Packer shirts, so it's like
I just
Corey
conveniently
doesn't
leave back.
dislike Eric.
Yeah.
He dislikes me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tem's a Pokemon killer. Man, it's a weird.
If I can live with it, where literally the Packers and the Vikings are the actual like two clashing
I want to
clans
do this.
here.
I want to do this one thing that Stephen M said at the very beginning of this whole thing. He says, "Tell me a story about yourself that sounds like a lie, but is absolutely true."
Oh, I've seen this go around.
Yeah, this has been a thing
God.
going on. So let's. Ooh. I mean, I guess I can.
That's a tough one.
It sounds like a lie, but it's absolutely true. Well, I mean, this is like kind of a sad thing, but I wake up every morning and don't remember my kids.
Every morning? Still? Oof. So
Sounds like a lie,
wa-
but it's totally
walk
true.
me through this though. So you wake up, you just don't have memory of the kids. At what point do you recall? Do you recall while you're in your bed, or when you first see a kid, you're like, "Whoa, what's this thing doing here?"
When I first see a kid, it's like, who are you?
So you have to remember every day.
But like,
through
I have
some-
like alarms and reminders on my phone to be like, I have videos that I've made, like I watch to try to remind me of things. But
the memory
it's
loss
crazy.
is still very severe.
yes, now it comes back, like usually within an hour. I remember most of the important things, but yes, I have.
So do you eventually remember times spent with them?
Yes. Not
Okay.
everything. I don't remember my youngest
Right.
being born. I haven't remembered that for a long time.
Oh,
But
oh,
it's kind of a sad story. I'm sorry. I don't want to dominate with a sad story. I have a traumatic brain injury for those who don't know. So like it's kind of it's a big deal. And it's gonna take like 2 years to recover. But hey, you said tell me a story that sounds like a lie, but it's true. So there you go.
There you go.
Hopefully someone's got a better, but more happy story than that.
No,
I can't think of one right now.
no.
You don't have anything?
I mean,
Anything you can say that sounds like a lie, but it's actually true?
massive blood clot.
Oh,
I mean-
great.
I proposed while I was in kindergarten.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Preschool.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, there
you
it
go.
is.
That's a little bit happier.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's like I can say. Well, hey, I have proposed to my current fiance 5 times, and she said yes all
Whoa.
5 times.
but you're still not married.
But we're still not married.
Oh Lord.
I was mine was kind of accidental.
Oh, yeah.
What I was really saying to this girl is I was asking her if what she felt was that she wanted to marry me. I wasn't really asking for her hand in marriage.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was
Did she
like,
say yes
"Do
though?
you want to marry me?"
Did she say
Did
yes?
she say yes? Of course she
Well,
did.
it was like during story time, so we're like in the
Oh,
back
okay.
group, and we're just like chilling, listening to the story, and just kind of leaned over to her, and said
Oh,
that
okay,
to her.
okay.
Because she was hanging out with me a
So-
lot.
so there
It
was no
weird
yes.
as a preschooler.
Yeah.
She leaned over and she whispered, "No."
Oh, I was gonna be like, did she say yes? Because if she said yes,
There you go.
I mean, I don't know if that engagement ever broke off, but okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
And that woman is Lauren. No, just kidding.
Yeah, jeez. John Early says, I've used the YouTube app on Switch Lite to play a purchased film from YouTube, and I couldn't help but think that we've come a long way since the 8 and 16-bit sprites. Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Let's see here. We need Nintenders to stop crying for everything and just enjoy the games. I think most people that quote unquote cry for things, they're not really crying. The internet does a good job of making things look like it bothers us more than it really does.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want a bunch of third-party ports, but like that doesn't mean I'm not happy with what I have.
Yeah, right.
I'm not walking around every day thinking, damn, where's my Red Dead Redemption 2? Damn, where's my this? Where's my call? Like I'm not literally walking around every day thinking, damn, where's my games? Like no,
Where's
dude,
number 3?
I don't even have the full library from last year that I want. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about games to play.
4.
It's just
Another
it
4.
would be nice to have, and people are more likely to talk about things they would like to have and things they don't have versus things they already are enjoying because they're already enjoying it. There's not anything to talk about except, hey, I really like this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it sounds like crying because you don't hear about the things they're already doing because they're already doing it. You're going to hear about the things they're not doing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So got to be, and this is just not Nintendo. This is true with everyone. You hear this from everyone. Well, Microsoft fans are crying they don't have enough exclusives. I'm like, sure, but they're not crying about their party support. They're not crying about this. They're not crying about having the most powerful system on the market because they have it. So
they're not crying about Game Pass.
Oh, Game Pass is amazing.
Right. No tears there.
Here's the thing. And nobody wants physical games to go away, but Game Pass is like the start of physical games going away. Like, everyone loves it, but like, hey, do you know that what loving that means, right? Like, it's the Netflix of gaming, and you're loving the Netflix of gaming.
Yep. Yeah. Well.
It's there. They're doing it. It's happening before our eyes, and like everyone loves it. This is what happened with Netflix. Yeah, so I don't want to hear it in like 10 years when the same people are like, why didn't I play my physical games anymore? Well, how long have you been subscribed to Game Pass? 5 years.
Right.
Let's see. Any other questions, guys? We got about 8 minutes here. Ping me in the chat. I'm also just glancing through to see if there's any other questions that weren't.
I know there was the one if you go down.
Is there?
Where is it? Up.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, Nintendo Talk. Hey, what's up, Nintendo Talk? I haven't talked to you in a while. Hi, boys. Any chance of them announcing a special version of Sword and Shield, similar to Emerald or Crystal? I mean, they like money, so yeah.
Yeah.
Chance, yeah, but they've kind of been going away from it.
Yeah,
they've kind of gone away from the third version, and they've kind of embraced the sequel version instead, the Black 2, White 2, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. Then maybe they'll continue that, or maybe they'll do a totally new thing. Who knows?
Whatever it is, it'll make money. That's really what they care about.
Yes.
I don't know why it's taken this long for so many fans to realize the Pokemon company is one of the greediest companies in the world. I don't know why it took people this long to figure it out. Like, get mad at Game Freak all you want. Everything's about the Pokemon company. They call all the shots. So
sure.
And they're like, why doesn't Nintendo step in? Because they're making the same bank everyone else is. Why would they ruin the? Why would Nintendo walk into anything and make demands when they make so much money off of what that company's doing?
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
you do what you want to do because you've always done what you want to do, and we just make lots of money. Oh, yeah, our programmers way back in the day saved your game. Well, it doesn't really matter today. Today, we make billions off of you. You just do what you do.
Yeah.
If you wonder why Nintendo doesn't step in and do anything, why would they step on their own money train?
Yeah. Yeah, there's that.
You know, for Nintendo, it's hey, look, we've never done it before. Why now? It ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Now, do they go to quad version?
Now, if Pokemon ever tanks finally and actually
people actually stop buying it,
somehow only sells like 2 million copies at one point, then you might see Nintendo be like, all right, let us actually save the franchise. But does anyone think that's actually going to happen anytime soon?
Yeah.
That Pokemon's going to stop being a 7+ million seller every single, like, it doesn't look like it would take. I don't know how. Like, here's the thing: all the people that are getting mad are not the target audience. So I don't.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. Like
every year, there's new 8-year-olds.
Yeah. So.
yeah.
I don't know. So we got some other questions in here.
Arkham Asylum, or Arkham Origins. Sorry. Yes. That Arkham games are awesome.
Origins was on Wii U?
It was on Wii U apparently.
Yeah, there was a Arkham game on Wii U.
Arkham City was like one of the early ones.
Was that the Armored Edition? The City one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
remember
had the
Arkham
really
Origins.
bad motion control thing with the I don't know what they were thinking with that.
The Batarang.
I get it as a concept. It just didn't work very well.
Yeah.
Like the Batarang's moving too fast. You can't. No.
Yeah.
Like but if you super slow it down, then it's just not the same. Like then I'm just flying a drone. So
Yeah.
like that's not how it works. And like when you throw a Batarang in real life, you ain't like slowing it down to a drone.
Plus, that was already like a 2-year-old game. Like it was not new.
It's like it was just one of those. Oh, there's a gamepad that shoots something, and it's like, yeah, inventory on the screen. Literally the only thing you need to do. We're good. Like the most useful thing the gamepad ever did.
Zombie U though, they did that
Zombie
right.
U was sick. Zombie U was probably that and Nintendo Land had the best uses of the gamepad.
Yes.
Period.
So good.
Like Zombie U, I played it on the other systems and it just wasn't the same. Like it was built specifically to be a game that's horror was built up through the intense nature of the gamepad. Having to like crack codes on doors while zombies are coming at you,
right?
And like and it felt real because like in real life, if you were doing this in real life, your attention is not on the zombie coming at you. If you're trying to crack the code, like it actually like that made sense. Yeah. You would be looking away from what's happening around you to try to figure this out, and then you'd look up and be like, "Oh no!" and like, yeah, it was so awesome. It was such a that game is so underrated.
So good. The multiplayer is pretty fun too.
Pilo85 said, "No, nice podcast. Gotta go back to work."
Yeah,
that's a good podcast. Is almost over. Thank you guys. We got about 4 or 5 minutes here. Nintendo needs a port Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD. I want it as a combo pack.
Yeah.
For 60.
Yes.
They're not gonna do it. They'll sell it.
Oh my gosh! And well, either way, I want them to have special editions of those. Comes with like a statue or something, you know. Some sort of like maybe it comes in a metal case.
Just give me my 3-foot Zant, please.
Man, a Zant.
So I could just put in the background.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've done things like this before too. Like remember the little statue? I have it over there that you can get with Majora's Mask 3D. Their special edition. I have that over there. They eventually sold it separately, which kind of devalued it. It's like really, it was cool, and now you can just buy it. But
I kind of kicked myself for not buying some special editions. So now if there's a special edition I really care about, I gotta plan to just get it. It's I'm never gonna be able to get that Master Sword from Breath of the Wild again.
I don't know why John's giving us burgers and fries right now.
I don't know. That does sound kind of good though.
Chubbs Barrios, since I'm late, I'll ask how hopeful should I be for a substantial amount of new Gigantamax? I think that's how it's pronounced.
Oh, yeah.
A substantial amount? What's substantial? There'll be some.
I mean, they're going to trickle them out, I think, until the next Pokemon game comes out.
I mean,
so you'll probably get 2 to 4.
Yeah, I'd say like 2 or 3 maybe announced tomorrow, maybe.
Well, it's probably going to be even numbers.
Yeah.
Right, for the 2 versions,
probably.
so
42
2 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 42. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really cool if every Pokemon eventually had a Gigantamax version, but I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, we got last couple questions we'll take here. Chubbsberry says, imagine this Magnesium Switch is the home console for $300 with proper 4K upscaling, better than the Switch itself is doing. So what you mean?
Just a box.
So you mean like just a box? That's happened in the past. There was the Vita TV.
Oh yes.
And there
that was
actually
not compatible
is.
With all games.
There was what was the Switch before the Switch was actually that gaming thing with the controller by NVIDIA. I forget what it's called. The Shield.
Oh, the Shield, yeah.
And they turned that into the Shield TV, which is a box off your TV. And they still sell that to this day because it's different from the Switch. So they discontinued the other one, but they keep that one going. Yeah, it would be kind of cool to have a standalone system, but like
the whole point of the Switch is
even if it has proper 4K
Switch.
upscaling, and even if you got rid of the ability for the Switch to switch, which the Lite already does.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're talking about. Like you have the base Switch, you have the Switch Lite that doesn't switch, that goes one direction, have the Switch Pro that doesn't switch but goes the other direction. I get it. But you're talking $300 for a system that is basically as powerful as the Switch but with proper 4K upscaling when you have other systems that are going to be around that price point that are doing 12 teraflops.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It would have to be a completely new generation of system. Like that's just, you're killing it. Now, if they want to do that for $100, like the
right,
Vita
yeah,
TV
make it
was,
cheaper.
make it cheaper and make it this big budget thing where hey, you can get all the Switch games on a really dirt cheap thing for your TV, like just like a Chromecast or whatever. Fine, but yeah, you can't charge $300 for a box that goes under your TV, that is just a Switch with 4K upscaling. It has to.
Right.
Like it has to be a whole new gen, and that would be too far away from what Switch is, I think, to be viable. So I don't think that's going to happen. Last question we got is from John Early. He says Nintendo 64 on Switch. You excited for that if it happens? So the N64 games, I assume you mean with the online service, because they gave us SNES last year. They gave us SNES the year before. So you might figure, oh, we'll get N64 this year. One, I wouldn't count on it.
Nope.
No.
So first off, don't just assume we're going to get N64 this year. Oh, by then we should get GameCube the next year.
No.
Don't count on it because they value those games highly.
And it gets substantially harder to emulate the more complex the system is.
Now, the Switch, the Tegra has proven it can emulate N64 games on other systems, other platforms.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, it's harder for them because they always enhance them.
Yes.
They add in extra features. So to do that with a bigger, more complex game that took a larger team to develop in the first place,
I just want to see an N64 Classic.
That would be sweet.
I don't care about it being added. Like, give me an N64 Classic.
And there'd be amazing games even if you didn't.
It'd be another system that Eric buys but never plays.
Yep, right. Yep.
At least the SNES one gets played here a little bit. But,
Yeah.
But just another memory box that we never touch. Although if they put Banjo-Kazooie other things on there, you might be touching it then.
Yeah.
That would be incredible if they could.
If they could pull that out. Well, they're
Snowboard
running
kids,
Microsoft,
man.
so you never know.
Snowboard kids.
Snowboard kids.
Was that a Rare game?
What, Banjo-Kazooie?
No.
No,
Snowboard kids.
No. Nintendo owns Snowboard Kids.
Really?
Yes, they own
That's cool.
Snowboard Kids.
I want to see
Nintendo,
Wave Race on there.
bring back Snowboard
Wave Race?
Kids. I don't remember what developer made it, but I know you own the IP. Come on. Oh, or was that too family friendly? Too family friendly for Nintendo.
You're right.
They have a game called
Yes.
Snowboard Kids.
Segwin Pikachu fan actually.
Oh, the 3DS situation that Segwin was talking about earlier was being able to right now buy a 3DS or 2DS from anywhere and hack it on the newest software. I don't want to get into hacking.
Oh. Yeah,
It's a thing you can do. It's not illegal to hack your own system. It's not illegal to mod your own system. It's illegal to sell the mods. It's illegal to, in some cases, tell people how to do it.
the download.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's not
put
against the
on
law
there.
to do it, but you're not really supposed to talk about it. But people talk about it because it's the internet. So I really don't care about that. If you care about that, that's great. We have some people in our community that are very passionate into the hacking community. I suggest hooking up with those people if you want to discuss that kind of stuff. I kind of steer clear of it. I've had many people tell me when I fix up this broken Switch to work a little bit, I should just hack it for fun and overclock it, and that sounds great and everything, but like my kids could actually play this, and I don't want to do it. And nothing against people who do. I just don't care. So, Genesis Mini, any good? I haven't played the Genesis
Either
Mini.
way.
So
I've heard really good things though.
I've heard it's the best
attempt at
a Genesis type thing like that.
Actually, one of the things I respect the most is that they made miniature versions of the Sega CD and the 32X. They're non-functional, but you can make your little tower of power and stack it together.
Nice.
What
Snowboard Kids, developed by Race Gin, and published by Atlas.
Yeah, published by Atlas. But
Atlas.
I remember right. I can't remember. One of the games was published by Nintendo, and then I don't know. I seem to remember that Nintendo bought the rights for it at some point. But you know what? Atlas. I don't care who does it.
Either way.
Bring it back.
You're right.
Anyways. All right. Green screen's not enabled. So we're not really.
This is actually a green wall. I can't move this.
Yeah. And I can actually move both of these, but I didn't. So maybe someday we'll use the green screens and do something cool with the backgrounds. If I feel fancy enough to do something with it, but that requires work.
Yeah.
Can't you guys just be happy the podcast is back? It's been 4 months since it's been every week, and this is supposed to be the start now of it being every week. Stop putting demands on my time.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's so hard to right-click and add a key.
God,
and
our podcast fans cry a lot about wanting things.
Can't you just be happy we're here? Anyways.
On that note, we'll definitely be back next week.
Maybe.
Well, our normal night is Thursday nights, guys. So we're doing this Wednesday night because people are busy on Thursday. It happens. But we should be back, hopefully, Thursday nights in the future, which would have worked out nice for this week with the Pokemon Direct. But hey, it's okay. We can talk about it next week if it ends up being awesome. Well, who knows? Maybe by then we're talking about a Nintendo Direct.
Oops.
And then who really cares what happens?
Give you like a day's notice, so that could happen.
So you never know. That's the beauty about Thursdays is they don't really do directs after Thursdays. And then we do our podcast so late, we'll always have the direct before it. Kind of convenient how that times out, isn't it? It's almost like I thought about this when picking what night to do it. Kind of thought about it a little bit. Like a long time ago.
Almost like it was an amazing coincidence.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if we're going to have a special guest next week yet or not. To be determined. I'm working out with some other YouTubers to try to get some more guests on. If you do want to be on an episode of the podcast, starting next week will be the first week that all $20 backers will be eligible again to be on an episode of the podcast. So we could have a $20 backer on next week. Who knows? If you would like to be one of those people, head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. Yes, I know the channel's called Nate Jantz now. The thing's called Nintendo Prime. It is the Nintendo Prime podcast. It pretty much only supports the Nintendo Prime podcast over there. So it's going to stay called Nintendo Prime for now. Deal with it. I know it's confusing. But this is the Nintendo Prime podcast. I'm Nate Jantz. Catch you guys in the next one. And we're still live. I got to find the right tab. YouTube is really made this all funky.
I'm just going to leave the call.
Yeah, right.
And stream. Wait,